Hey everyone, welcome to VEDA day 26, and I thought today I would talk about our adventure last night. Last night was pretty bad. We were at Chick-fil-A eating dinner. Everything was going fine and wonderful. It was a wonderful night, and we were leaving. We were getting ready to leave, and Joel and Judah both had to go potty. Joel took Joel to the potty, and I was wiping Judah's face when all of a sudden I hear a very, very loud scream from my son Joel, and Joel brings him over to me, like holding him up high, this huge 4-year-old boy, and he's like squirming, and I see my husband's face is like he's really shocked about something, and then I see this enormous hole like in Joel's head. And we were both like just so shocked, like, how did this happen? What is happening? Like 2 seconds ago everything was fine and we weren't even running, or like nothing was going on. Like, he got up to walk holding Joel's hand like crazy. So I guess he was holding Joel's hand and he was somehow like off balance. He tripped, and there's a part of the chair that's padded, and he hit his head underneath that part, which has a metal bar, which wouldn't be too bad in and of itself, but there was a woman sitting in the chair, so it didn't give. When he hit it, it was just like boom. And yeah, so split his head right open, and you could see his skull and everything. He did this exact same thing 2 years ago right here. So in the picture, I'll put a picture here of his stitches at the end of the video, and you can see he has a little scar from when he was 2 years old, splitting it open when we were in Van Wert, which coincidentally was also when Joel was with him. So he just kind of gets the bad luck, I guess. I don't know. But that was kind of a different type of situation. That was a little more unsafe. This was kind of freakish. Like, he's walking and he trips and somehow hits a chair in the perfect way that it splits his head open. How does this happen? Like, only to Joel 3, who's somewhat of a klutz. So we don't have much money left in our HSA because I had some issues with like asthma or bronchitis, don't even know, earlier in the year. And so we're like going from one urgent care to another, trying to figure out like if they can do what we want and if the wait isn't very long. Well, trying to figure out if they could do what we want. I guess I should explain that. I'm under the impression that like a 4-year-old getting stitches right here needs like a sedative, like ketamine or something, because Joel got a sedative when he was 2. And so I figure that's what they do. I mean, when I put IVs in a 4-year-old, it didn't go well. They scream, they kick, it's crazy. So I didn't think that you could do this without some type of sedative, and no urgent cares carry that. So they would just tell us to go to the hospital. Go to the hospital, go to the hospital. And we didn't want to go to the ER because it's expensive. So, but we ended up just going there because Joel was like sitting in the back of the van with a hole in his head. It's like 7:30. The other 2 kids are tired. And urgent cares have, like, sometimes there's like one doctor there. And what if that guy's, or girl, what if they're just like not very good at stitches? Like, well, sorry about your luck. You're going to have a big scar there because your parents didn't want to take you to the ER. So we just went to the ER. But yeah, after he cut his head open, people rushed to help us, which was so nice. And there were like 2 people from our church that just like, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? And I knew Joel had to go potty really bad, which might have been part of the reason why he did it too. I don't know. Joel actually took him potty while he had like a huge hole in his head, because I knew if we were driving around trying to find a good urgent care that he would like pee himself because he was like in pain and scared and whatever. So I was like, do you think he can take a potty? Because Joel was still kind of holding him, and he already had like blood all over him. So I was like, you can take him, if you think you can, go ahead and do it, and I'll try to take Judah potty, and I'll have this friend of ours from church watch Luther while everybody's screaming and looking at us, and so I try to take Judah potty. Judah freaked out. Like, Judah keeps saying, Joel has hole, Joel has hole, Joel has hole. Or he would say hole, and I say, yeah, Joel has a hole in his head. And then he'd say, hole in head, over and over again. And then eventually he said, Judah have hole, Judah have hole. So he couldn't pee because he was so concerned that he might have a hole in his head, which is so funny. But 2-year-old, like, how can you get inside their brain? I don't know. So that part was really funny to me, that Judah was so concerned that for his brother Joel, and he was concerned that his own head had a hole in it, and he was just really freaked out. But yeah, so anyway, we're driving around trying to find urgent care. Nobody has a sedative, so we just go to the ER. And we didn't have a very long wait, which was great. I just got an iPhone, so I was able to pull up some games for him to play, which was wonderful. I mean, he was totally, like, distracted and stuff. We got a Band-Aid from someone at Chick-fil-A, so we did cover it up so it didn't look horrible. And we got called in pretty quickly, and the whole thing was just like an answer to prayer. I was putting on some topical anesthetic, like kind of like a topical lidocaine, with a Q-tip. The nurse told me to put it on like every 2 minutes, just like kind of saturate the Q-tip with the topical lidocaine, so that way they didn't have to put something wet between his eyes that would drip because it couldn't get in his eyes. And so I did that pretty well for like every 2 minutes for like half an hour. It seemed like it was a really long time. When they came in, or when the CMP came in to do the stitches, he said, well, I said, when are you going to do the lidocaine? Because I know lidocaine shots burn like crazy, and I wanted to warn Joel. And he's like, well, we'll see. I'm like, what do you mean we'll see? He said, we'll see how numb it is from what you did. I'm like, really? You think that'll be numb enough? And I'm like nervous that he's gonna freak out. He's like, do you think we need to say it? I'm like, I don't know, but he's like, well, we would have to do it like at midnight because you said he ate at 6. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, we might as well try it without a sedative because I don't want to wait until midnight. We need to get out of here. Plus, it carries risks, and it's more expensive, and we would start it at midnight. Like, there's so many reasons. So let's just not do the sedative, even though we drove around looking for a place that had it. But anyway, so we didn't, and I just prayed everything would go well. And the CMP came in, and he was a Christian who had just gotten back from a mission trip to El Salvador. And he was talking about his missions trip, and he was just so cool and laid back and just comfortable with the whole thing. Didn't seem nervous or anything, like he'd done it a million times. And he just cleaned it out a little bit, and then he just took the suture kit and just started going at it, like just out of nowhere. I mean, I had no warning, but it was cool because it was just like totally just part of, I'm just gonna clean it out and then I'm gonna start stitching it up, and I'm going to keep talking, and everything's cool. And Joel was, like, trying to look at the TV, watching cartoons, like that, I mean, he was fine, like, totally fine, held still the whole time. He got a little antsy at the end, and I said, he started kind of, like, whining. I said, Joel, what's the problem? He said, I'm hot. So, rolled up his pants. That's just kind of all I could do at the time. But anyway, so he did really, really well, and I gave him a sucker after that, which he was really excited about. And he got to watch cartoons as we were waiting, which we never get to do. So when Daddy picked us up, we had a friend come over to the house to stay with the kids. thank goodness. And Daddy picked us up. Joel said, yeah, I had a lot of fun at the hospital. So so he did really well, and I just am so thankful to the Lord that Joel, you know, that he blessed Joel in the way that he could hold still and be calm when he had like a needle like stitching himself back together. And so that was just huge answer prayer. He didn't even need any ketamine, any sedative at all, and he didn't even get a lidocaine shot. Like, that's crazy to me. So the whole thing was just really awesome. Of course, you know, we wish it never happened, and we don't understand how it happened, but it happened, and that's that. So he'll heal up, and hopefully won't have a very bad scar, and hopefully we won't be doing this every 2 years. Very interesting. But yeah, that's what we did last night. Got home around 10:45, and then he went to bed. Alright, thanks for watching.